Universal 7, Governance and Management System. Meets the Canvas methodology. These are the 9 topics of the Canvas method, for thinking and guiding you to solve the problems of running your business. It describes the rationale of how an organization creates, delivers and captures value. Following is the relocation of the 9 different components of the Canvas approach to business modeling using the Universal 7 Governance and Management System. Doing so makes it crystal clear that, for instance, you are asked to name the key activities without considering that they belong to very different management functions and even moments in time. Some of them could be part of a planning effort, as in a startup, and some are activities in an ongoing business. Some are strictly management, others are design and testing. Some have to do with marketing or research. It is not clear at all who is doing what now, or in the future. In this video, I will show you how the Universal 7 Governance and Management System serves as a different kind of canvas. It is a much more graphic representation of your business as a viable system, with an operation running under the control of a management, and serving and being served by a relevant environment. Shown here are the 7 systemic functions that allow a viable system to exist through time, acting as a purposeful and successful business unit. Identity, planning, execution, coordination, operation, error detection and security. This is what step 1 of the Canvas method asks you for your value proposition. What do you provide to customers? Describe the bundle of products and/or services that provide value to your customers. You identify a problem you want to solve, or a need someone has. This presupposes a market, or part of your relevant environment. So let's show this as a green blob. Here is the relevant environment, plus the market side of it, with your potential clients, customers or users. Now let's add your value proposition. A catalog of products, with their targeted prices. You are talking about your company's outputs. Every product is some sort of control amplifier, and you are supposed to get some feedback from your clients. Notice a control loop for every product. Actually, the Universal 7 model goes farther. The value proposition is linked to your company's identity, the first systemic function to appear in every viable business. Your value proposition is decided the moment you incorporate your business to become a legal entity. The identity defines what you are in business for, what is the purpose of your corporation. It is here that you are also defining your mission, vision and value system. It is not only about what you offer of value, but also about how to proceed, how to get things done. The second Canvas question to answer is, which group of customers do you currently serve? Briefly describe each different customer group. Okay, so we now map this activity into the U7 model. The planning systemic function has just started to really take shape. You have to solve problems whose solution you do not know yet. Planning deals with exploration and is part of an adaptation and learning function that is carried out incessantly, all through the life of the company. Step 3 in Canvas involves deciding your distribution channels. How do you currently deliver products or services to customers? How do they know you, and how do you deliver? We are still talking about the output function. In the case of a software company, the distribution strategy would involve perhaps a web portal, a content store, or the App Store. Now comes step number 4, as in the customer relationship strategy. How to find them, get them and keep them. Again, a requisite variety Ashby control loop is required. Number 5 on the Canvas checklist is the revenue stream. How do you generate revenue from each customer grouping? Describe your different revenue streams. This is what you get in return for the value you provide. With the choices made up to this point, you figure out the sales projection. All this exercise is still tentative. The model goes back and forth repeatedly, until everything falls in place and makes sense. If you do not have a winning plan on paper, you are planning to fail. Working backwards, from identifying markets and customers, number 6 in the checklist, is an inventory of the assets and other key resources that your business controls to deliver on your value proposition. Key resources can be almost anything. Intellectual, relations, money, patents, location, and so on. It is important to consider that they are all channeled to create a successful operation. In the Universal 7, the operation is the place where the goods and services are produced. All key resources converge on the operation. Canvas continues to expand the hypothetical company. Now, as number 6 on the checklist are the key partners. Canvas describes them as the network of suppliers and partners that make the business model work. Key partners are the sources of your inputs directly or indirectly through financing. Some of your suppliers become virtual partners, others real partners. Strategic alliances here are the ultimate key. We are now on the other side of the relevant environment, feeding the operation with inputs, men, machinery, materials, and services. There certainly is a symmetry in the U7. Notice the homeostatic nature of the relationship with suppliers. What comes in as input is converted into products and services and sold as products or services. In our example of a software company, the partners may be infrastructure providers, brokers, and even the App Store as a software provider. Notice investors contributing to the money stream. Number 8 in the Canvas checklist are the key activities. The question posed is, what are the most important activities that the company must perform to make the business model work? This is a very vague question. Everything we have been doing until now, and more. Costs and expenses are reserved for last in the Canvas analysis of an ongoing business. This is task number 9 in the Canvas method. Notice that this closes the circle where money that flows right to left is exchanged for products or services flowing in the opposite direction. If your company were a living thing, this circle describes its metabolism. Here is a graph, borrowed from Michael Rothschild's model, of a cell in a factory. The similarity with Stafford Beer's viable system model and the Universal 7 governance and management system is remarkable. There are, however, many important systemic functions that have not been mentioned at all. Operations were hardly mentioned. So we insert those. Notice they are mapped following the viability criteria. Every part of the process is itself another viable system, at least potentially. Cybernetic management deals with recursive structures. That is the natural way to organize any corporation. And we need a coordination systemic function connected to the rest of the model, to support, for instance, the communication and information processing needs of the company, especially the operations, therefore preventing the saturation of the command channel, still to be located in this graph. Canvas seems to be talking to the CEO. So let's include that systemic function. Now we see where the command channel is located. This channel also handles the very important resource allocation and bargaining information, which is clearly a two-way control loop. We also need an error detection function and its corresponding channel as part of the structure. Notice at this point that the whole system is recursive, meaning that the parts inside the operation share the structure of the parent company. The 7 systemic functions are present in every managed business unit, regardless of the level where it is found. Now the only pending systemic function is security. We insert that right now. Although it is not present in the viable system model, security is an obvious systemic function to protect life and property. Security provides a border to the management box and the operations. Every systemic function is connected to all the rest. Canvas seems more like a checklist for an executive or a team. The U7 model is advice for diagnosing the structure whole corporation. Because structure prevails over individuals. You can do it yourself, examining one business unit or viable system at a time. Here is the complete U7 model. The U7 governance and management system hereby demonstrates that it can serve as another, yet more powerful model of a corporation, regardless of its size. As you can tell, from the categories and the questions asked, the Canvas model is a great contribution to managerial understanding, but not systemic nor exhaustive. Here are all the roles that Universal 7 can accommodate. This is by far the most powerful language developed for business and government at the same time. You have learned a lot about management cybernetics, without even trying. I have many other YouTube videos, for you to become a cybernetician. Thank you for watching. Background music courtesy of Kubernetes, the movie.